Great morning to you all. I hope that you've all woken up grateful for your day. And I hope that you've set a high vibe. And I hope when you're seeing any kind of limit, you're pushing past it. And I hope when you're seeing any kind of obstacle, you're taking the time to learn. And I hope when you're seeing a setback, you're assessing. Okay? And you're redirecting. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving weekend. It's a long weekend. I want you guys all to set a high vibe. Be grateful. See, I give thanks every day. So, Thanksgiving is not a holiday for me. Everybody's supposed to give thanks every day for their experience. You know, if you're not grateful, you're not receiving. If you're coming from a place of lack, well, hey, you're always in fear of not having. So be grateful. Be grateful for your life. Be grateful for your experience. Be grateful for the people that you have in your life to support and root you on. So if you're not like I am and give thanks every day, well, then this is your big weekend to cover all the days you've missed of giving thanks. You know, it's funny why we have a holiday specifically to give thanks. Isn't that a little twisted? Shouldn't we be giving thanks for the things that mean things in our life every day? So this is going to push me into the topic this morning about nothing holds meaning in your life other than what you give it. And that's real. Doesn't matter if it's towards yourself. Doesn't matter if it's towards another. Doesn't matter if it's towards a situation, a circumstance, or anything going on. The only meaning that that can hold in your life is the meaning that you allow it to have, that you give permissions to. I want you all to understand that this morning. So in the magnitude of what you're being affected by is in the magnitude of what you are giving it meaning. Right? So the more meaning you give it, well, the more permissions you have allowed it to affect your life. Because you have given it meaning. But what kind of meaning do you give things? Because only you hold those answers. I would like you guys to question, what do you mean to yourselves? And that's going to rattle some brains this morning. What do you mean? What do I mean about, what do I mean to myself? What do you mean to yourself? Are you just as important as anything else that you're doing? Or have you put yourself on the back burner while everything else has taken precedence in your life? That's nobody's choice but your own. So what do you mean to yourself? You know, we give everything meaning outside of us. And we allow things to influence our well-being or our not well-being, let's say, or our imbalance of things within ourselves. Because if you can't stay completely calm in any situation or in the face of anything, it has enough meaning to you for you to respond and react. Let me give you an example today. You know, you see a perfect stranger doing something. Well, they don't mean anything to you. So what they're doing doesn't affect you. But now, you take somebody that actually means something to you by what you've placed value and meaning on in your life and put them in that same situation. Well, then what they are doing is affecting you because you have given them meaning in your life. So, I want you to check what you have been giving meaning to in your life that is no good for you. That's going to shift a lot. What do I mean by that? I, for years, gave meaning to everything and everybody but my own valid being. But what do I mean to myself today? Everything. Because there's nobody on the planet that can love me the way I can love myself. There's nobody on the planet that can respect me the way I respect myself. There is nobody on this planet that will set me as a priority more than I can. And there's nobody that can root me or cheer me on more than I can. So understanding that, well, hey, the meaning in my life has to be within me, for myself, in order to get the best results. Seriously. So I want you to check what you've been giving meaning to in your life. Simple. Because you have to start giving yourself a little bit more meaning than anything around you. If things don't make you feel good, like I've mentioned before, you do not have to engage in them. Engage in interactions that actually mean something to you. Hey, good morning, Paris. Love you. Have a great day. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. I'll be around on that end on Monday, just to give you a heads up. Okay? So, yeah. So back to where I'd like you guys to look at what you give meaning to in your life. Because I'm going to say it again, nothing holds meaning in your life other than what you give it. Seriously, and you got to take a look at that. But you have to give yourself meaning. Meaning for you, meaning for your experience. What does it mean to you? And if you really, really, really want to get the most out of it, you got to give yourself that self-worth and self-validation and self-credibility and self-confidence. And, you got to do that for yourself by giving yourself and your experience some meaning. Yeah, we can have stress in our life. But how do you see it as stress? Because look, you know what? I've understood to the point of this. I gave so much meaning in my life that it wore me to the ground. And during it all, I never put myself first. I never had any meaning for my own worth. I've figured that out now. So I have enough meaning for myself and my experience that I have to be very careful about where I put meaning on anything in my life. What does anything mean to me? Because as equally as you give these permissions to what things mean to you in your life, without validating yourself first, well, that is equally as much as they will affect your life. This weekend, I want you all to be thankful for everything and anything in your experience, no matter how rough it may seem right now. Like I mentioned before, I don't need a weekend to give thanks. I give thanks every day. The minute I wake up, I am grateful that I've been given another day because nobody's promised another day. So what does it mean to you that you've been given another day? Gift of life. This is why I encourage you all to be grateful for everything. You're granted today. And you're a brand new person. So what does that mean to you? That's right. It's a present. It's a gift. But too many people are waking up, giving meaning to everything else in their life, and allowing their own wellness to be shifted in all kinds of ways because they won't give any meaning to their own beings. So once you give a meaning to your life and to your own being, and hey, everything changes. People, circumstances, situations no longer affect you the way that they once did. When you start shifting your mindset and your perspective about things, you don't even have these automatic responses that have been kicking in and governing your life the whole time. Everything changes. Seriously. But it's all dependent on how you see things for yourself and how you see yourself. And if you're giving meaning to your own being or not. Or are you giving meaning to everything else? And you're allowing everything that you're giving meaning to in your life. Because, again, I tell you, nothing can hold meaning in your life unless you give it that meaning. So what are you granting permissions to hold that space in your being that is affecting you? Look at what the things that you're giving meaning to in your life. Are they of worth? Are they of the same magnitude of what you bring to table and your efforts? You got to put yourself first and give yourself the meaning, which should be, hey, I matter. And if you cannot believe that you matter in this experience and you can't give yourself that meaning, you won't be able to get it right. And you won't be okay. But I'm going to remind you guys, nothing can hold a meaning in your life unless you allow it and you grant it permission. And you hold that space for it in your heart. Because we are not locked and shackled to anything. Nothing. But we are all connected. Anyway, guys, it's Thanksgiving weekend. I want you guys to get the most out of it this weekend. When you're sitting down with your families, don't be rushing out of the door to get something else done. Be present. Give the people that deserve the meaning in your life some thanks, some appreciation this weekend. Like I said, I do that stuff every day. I am grateful for every single interaction that I have. But I don't give meaning to things in my life that are damaging, that are hurtful, that make me feel not good. Why would I? Nobody plays a bigger part in my life than my own being. And that's why every day I'm a new day, a new person, and I come out here and I stress you all to look at things that nobody else is going to tell you to look at. These are all the things that I had to look at and go through while I was correcting my being. Sit there and ask myself, what am I really giving all this stuff meaning to? Like, All this stuff that means so much to me. Does any of that, do I hold a place in any of these people's hearts or minds? But they mean so much to me. Whoa, I had to get that shit right. Yes, I can be unconditionally loving to me and every single person in my life, but that doesn't mean that anybody is going to hold greater meaning than me. Why should another, their needs, their wants, their permissions of what they grant in their life, hey, why should that mean anything to me? It's not my business. How another chooses to govern their life, but how I choose to govern mine is a different story. And I am fully aware that nothing in my life can hold any meaning unless I give it that meaning. So, you gotta check these things seriously. And what are the things that you're giving meaning to in your life? Are they valid? Are they worthy? Or are you caught up in some negativity transference of a cycle that has just got you so engulfed that you think it's a normal way of life? Like I was in. And that's another thing too. I thought this negative way of living and having to endure was a normal thing. But it's not. It's a choice. I choose to hold a little bit more meaning for myself and my experience. And I choose not to give permissions for anything or anybody to hold such high meaning greater than myself in my life. One would say that was cold, but many would say that would be self-care and loving. Like I say it again, to whatever you give meaning into your life is to the extent and magnitude of which you will be affected by it. Okay? Watch and look what you're giving meaning to in your life. Take all those permissions back and put those energies into your own being. And that's really, really important to do. And yeah, a lot of people are going to fall to the side when you start saying no. Or when you remove the meaning that was once there for somebody who's not valid or worth it. And I really hate to say that because I believe every person should be valid or worth it, but whether they choose that for themselves, well, that's a different story. But a lot of people don't give themselves that meaning in their life. So therefore, I can't give them that meaning in mine. That's as simple as that. Because if they don't have enough meaning for themselves and they're being affected by everything else that they're giving meaning to in their life, which has nothing to do with me, why should I be affected by those choices of another? No, I got to mean enough to myself and say, hey, that's choice of their own free will. Yes, we are connected, and I will love them unconditionally, but I will see them for the choices that they make for themselves. And I will give them the meaning in my life according to that. Perfect example. Hey, if somebody is showing you that you mean nothing to them, well, don't sit there crying over them. Okay? If somebody's being disrespectful to you, or if somebody can't hold a meaning for you in their life, don't run after them. Be good with their choices. Because you have to give yourself enough meaning in your life. And people will clearly tell you what meaning you hold in theirs. Hey, great morning, Sarah. Have a magical day. Seriously, guys, like, you got to see that. Don't get caught up in your own excuses for it and what you think about it and whatever. People will show you their free will. But you got to have enough meaning for yourself. to allow it to be, and not to hold meaning for these people that are, you don't have any meaning in their life. And that's okay. That is so okay. People get to a point where they think, oh, wow, you know what? Nah. People evolve and change and grow. Don't be surprised if you wake up and one day the person next to you is not the person that holds that meaning in your life anymore. And don't be surprised if you go to the job and that no longer holds the same meaning for you that it did the day before. We change as individuals every day. So this is why I'd really like you to take a look at what you give meaning to in your life. Because these are the things that are affecting your life. You give it meaning? Well, it's affecting you. So what are you giving meaning and what are you drawing back from? That's what you got to check. Are you feeling the effects in your life from giving things meaning that are not giving you any meaning? Like, hey, look at that stuff. Where you put your focus is where you put your energy, no matter what it is. So that's why I encourage you all to remove the outward focus and look inward at what your heart is telling you, because your heart speaks. How do I know this? Because mine does. And I allow my body to answer anything for me, not my head. How do I do that? I silence the mind. Because your body will give you two very distinctive feelings. Whether it feels good for you or whether it doesn't. And those are your clearest answers that you could ever get. Guys, it's Thanksgiving weekend. Set a high vibe. I want you guys to be grateful for every single thing in your life. And if you're having a hard time going through it, check your thoughts about it all. And check what you're giving meaning to in your life. Because nothing should hold more meaning in your life than your own being. I encourage you all to take a look at the thoughts that you're thinking and the things that you're telling yourselves. And I'll also say another thing too. When you start awakening and you understand that change is needed within your own being, yes, it kind of gets scary for most. Guys, remove the fear. Trust your own beings. Trust that you have the capacity to do anything and anything that you desire. But also trust the fact that you're creating results every waking moment. So watch what you're giving meaning to in your life. That's all. It helps you take the trash out in your life. Real self-reflection and analyzation and assessing your own being and understanding you not are just, oh, like that because that's the way you are. No. Okay? And getting past all of that stuff and giving yourself meaning probably for the first time in your life will change everything. I want you guys to get the most out of your experiences. And that's why I tell you guys this. Honestly. Guys, you're sourced by an infinite, unconditional love that loves you no matter what. This experience is an experience because it's for learning. Our senses, our feelings, our emotions, the energy and motion, everything, all of that is just to heighten our experience here. It's not supposed to cripple us. It's supposed to enable us to get the most out of our experience here. I want you guys to tell yourself good things today and over the weekend. And try to make a point of not speaking negatively about yourself at all. At all. Check your thoughts, check your words, check what you're doing to yourself. Give yourself enough meaning this weekend, and today to be grateful constantly, even for your own being. You don't feel like that? Keep saying it. Fake it till you make it. That's a good way to check what you believe. Say something and then sit still with it. See how that feels within your being. Tell yourself you love yourself no matter what and see what response you get. That'll tell you a lot about whether you love yourself or not. See what your ego tells you. Because that's what's really been operating your show. So you got to get past that. Give enough meaning to yourself. Seriously. Okay, and I'm going to wrap up this live, but you know what? I got some jokes for you this morning. So a couple of people had messaged me and basically said, Tobi, you're real serious. Like, you must not be any more fun. Because I remember having fun with you. Okay, let it be known. My humor is very sick and twisted. More probably vulgar than half of you could handle. Okay? I love to have a good time. But a good time. Okay? I love laughing. I love doing crazy stuff. Hey, that won't change about me. Even though I'm love and light, I'm still Tobi in this experience. I'm just a better version of myself now. A couple have asked me, Tobi, do you still drink? Listen, I can have a couple of drinks, but I'm not going to go to the SAQ, buy 2 bottles, and pop a handful of pills while I'm drinking those bottles. That's not the Tobi that you find anymore. But yeah, I enjoy a couple of drinks, a couple of laughs, good company. Just because I've realigned to who I really am doesn't mean that I'm not trying to get the most out of my experience or have a little bit of fun. But since my heart attack, I'm limited, and I got to watch what I do, watch what I say, watch where I go, watch the interactions that I do have. That's all. But it just makes me check what means something to me in my life or not. And if it doesn't mean anything to me, it is because I hold no meaning for it, so therefore it gets no energy or focus of me. That's what I mean. But you got to mean enough to yourself to get it right. And for the first time, that's what I can do. But yeah, just because I've gotten realigned to what is running my experience doesn't mean that I've shut out having a good time in my life, eh? I love y'all. Have an amazing Thanksgiving weekend. Enjoy your families. Enjoy your meals. Really be present. You know, seriously. Love yourself enough to give the things that mean something in your life that space this weekend. And be grateful for it. Anyway, I love you all. Have a great day. Have an amazing weekend this weekend. I probably won't be live on Monday morning because it's Thanksgiving weekend. And I got my own plans. Actually, I'm really excited. I'm going to pick up another huge aquarium tonight. Yeah, another 90-gallon. Well, I've got a little bit more than a 90-gallon behind me, but I am going to get another 90-gallon today. So I am just thrilled. Yep. So that's what's going to hold some meaning in my life today. Anyway, I love you all. Have a great day. Set a high vibe. When you're limited, get creative. You know, when you see an obstacle, learn. When you see a setback, assess, redirect. All right? Watch what you're giving meaning to in your life. Because that, what you're giving meaning to, is what can affect you. If something holds no meaning, well, it can't affect you. So watch what you're giving meaning to in your life. All right? I love y'all. Have a great day. Peace.